I didn't escape the system because of a lucky trade. I escaped because I built a plan in a Google Sheet, and I couldn't care less about Lambos. I'm going to share the plan I used to walk away from my job, my boss, and my old life entirely. And fair warning, this video probably isn't what you're expecting, but it might be exactly what you need. I'm not here to shill altcoins or flash my gains. This is the crypto-based freedom strategy I used to vanish on my own terms from my old corporate life. Most people think you need millions to escape the system. You don't. Not if your first goal is just to buy back a few years of your life and start over on your own terms. This plan I'm going to show you is a complete mindset shift. I'll show you how 5 decisions changed everything for me. If you're even thinking about escaping the system, this might be the most useful video you watch today, if you watch to the end. Of course, this isn't financial advice, just the strategy I used. Always do your own research. I used crypto strategically, not as a gamble, but as a blueprint to buy back my time, freedom, and control. To be fair, crypto wasn't the only thing that made it possible. It also grew a cash stash, but it was crypto that gave me the confidence to leave. Because building a 6-figure crypto portfolio from scratch in the last few years gave me conviction in myself. Conviction I can build wealth on my own, and that's changed me. Today I'll show you how I planned it, years in advance. Welcome to Sovereign Stash. I'm Anna, ex-product manager turned full-time crypto investor and creator of the Sovereign Stash strategy. I want to help more people build wealth that actually buys their freedom, like I did. So if that sounds like something you're into, hit like, subscribe, and if you want beginner-friendly crypto insights, my free email course link is below. Right, let's get into it. Remember, this isn't a blueprint for getting rich. It's more of a playbook for getting free. Let's start at the beginning. I was initially excited about crypto as disruptive innovation tech that I could invest in. I started buying tiny amounts of crypto in early 2021. My career had stalled, property prices kept climbing. I started to question whether my paycheck and career would ever be enough to get me out of the system. What if I couldn't retire? What if my freedom from employment was never coming? But the real wake-up call happened when one day my bank froze all of my accounts, zeroed out my balances, just because I tried to send money to a crypto exchange I'd been using for years. I had to call them. Eventually they unfroze my money, but not before they lectured me about crypto scams. Now, I've studied crypto way more than my 10,000 hours, believe me, and the person I was talking to at the bank, I would bet my life, had not. That's when I realized my bank wasn't protecting me. They were protecting themselves. That was the moment everything snapped into focus. I can't build financial freedom inside a system that can freeze my accounts without warning. So I amped up my efforts to build my wealth outside of it. I thought to myself, if my bank doesn't want me to own crypto, I probably need more of it. If this story resonates, check out my video, Why You Need a Sovereign Stash. It'll give you a deeper understanding of why this matters so much. And I did go into more detail of my personal banking saga in a recent video too, you can check out. Moving on, my next key turning point was decision number 2, stack sovereignty. Most people think buying crypto means throwing cash at coins they saw trending on X or TikTok. No plan, no system, no strategy. That is not investing, that's gambling. And I knew if I played it that way I'd get wrecked. Or worse, give up entirely. So I did something different. I stopped thinking like a gambling retail investor and started thinking like someone who wanted to be sovereign, someone truly in control of their own financial future. So I built a reserve, not a portfolio. Not just a bag of moonshots, a strategic reserve designed with intention, not vibes. I call it my Sovereign Stash, and it's split 3 ways. Before I explain how I structured the crypto stash, I want to show you how I started stacking it in the first place. During the 2022 and 2023 bear market, when everyone was checked out or rage quit crypto, I was quietly running a playbook. I allocated a fixed percentage of my salary every single month into 2 things. 1, a high interest savings account. That became my cash cushion. Number 2, my crypto exchange account. Not to buy crypto immediately, but to wait for the right setups to then make entries into my Bitcoin strategic reserve and my digital asset stockpile and my trading account. I was buying fear. I was buying boredom. I was buying breakdowns on the price charts in that bear market. And those entries made all the difference. Now, each part of my stash plays a specific role in how I manage risk and growth. Now, those of you following US government crypto policy might notice something familiar. I didn't always call these parts by these names. But when the White House crypto policy updates dropped earlier this year, I couldn't help but laugh because the two terms the government used, Bitcoin Strategic Reserve and Digital Asset Stockpile, were exactly the two buckets I'd already built. Wild. So yeah, I borrowed the names here today, but the strategy, I already had that. So firstly, my Bitcoin Strategic Reserve. What is this? This is my sovereign core. It's a multi-cycle hold. I buy Bitcoin and I don't sell it. It's my digital gold. It's globally neutral digital capital that can't be printed or inflated away. It's a bet against government money that loses value by design. So it's my long-term no thanks to the financial system, money printing itself into collapse. And then 2, my digital asset stockpile. So what's this? These are long-term altcoin positions, assets that must align with my freedom thesis and offer exposure to exponential trends. I don't chase hype to stockpile it. I try to position for where the world is heading. And I'm handpicking networks and assets I believe will matter, not just this cycle, but next cycle, and in the new crypto and AI economy. Some assets hold cultural or historical significance. Others offer unique network value. NFTs can earn a place if I believe they'll age well and hold the digital weight. But every asset must serve the narrative of sovereignty, decentralization, real historical, cultural, or network value. Each one goes through my freedom filter. This is just a sample of what I check for. Is it credibly decentralized? Do the tokenomics serve long-term holders or just insiders? Does it have real users, real value, and a reason to exist above its competitors? Can it survive regulatory attacks? Is it revenue generating? And if it doesn't survive that test, it doesn't earn a spot in the stockpile. I have a much longer version of this checklist. If that's something you want, let me know in the comments. So just to be clear, my Bitcoin reserve is not for selling. It's my long-term sovereignty asset. But the stockpile is different. These positions can be sold, but only if the thesis breaks. So that means the original reason for holding them no longer makes sense, or they've shown significant underperformance, or they've reached the holding horizon I already set. Some I committed to for 1 year, others for 5, for example. This structure helps me avoid panic sells and avoid overstaying when performance dries up. I pre-commit to these rules. That's how I manage conviction without falling into delusion. I'll drop a video soon on exactly what I did to achieve my outperformance in the market this past bull run, starting from the bear of 2022. There's a lot to it, so I can't dive into that detail in this video as well. But if you want more details, they're coming. And thirdly, my trading account. So this is less than 10% of my total exposure. It's actually in a range of between 2% and 10% max, and it's completely separate to my long-term investments. This is where I learn and experiment with different trading techniques and take higher risk narrative bets. If it goes to 0, fine, that's the deal. But it never touches my long-term reserves. That separation is key. If you blur short and long-term plays, you'll mess up both. Trust me, I learned the hard way. If you've ever blurred short-term gambles with your long-term plan and paid the price, or you're sitting on bags you're too ashamed to look at, I made a free 5-day email course called Crypto Survival 101 to help you start fresh with a smarter plan. It's a beginner-friendly guide to building your core portfolio and tips on how to screen altcoins to avoid the riskier junk. It's not financial advice, just information I wish I had when I started. Links in the description. It'll help you reset and structure your stash for the long game. Of course, building a reserve is only half the game. The other half, making sure you don't lose it. Brings me to decision 3, protect the stash. A cold hard truth of crypto is this: if you don't plan for the risks in crypto, you're planning to get wrecked. After thousands of hours studying this space, I started to see just how many risk vectors really exist. The price crashing is only one, believe me. And honestly, I was more bold in my trades and investments before I knew all the risks. Because once you see the risks, you can't unsee them. Anyone who's spent time building here knows what I mean. But no risk, no reward. Still holds true across all asset classes. And in crypto, the reward only matters if you survive long enough to claim it. There's 2 main risks you must manage. Self-custody is just one part of protecting your stash. The other part, what I call wrecked management. The first, effective custody of your assets. So self-custody best practices. And second, volatility of price, or risk management skills. But both of these are multiple videos on their own. So for now, let's just summarize. If you want to hold wealth long-term in this space, you'll need to get a strategy in place for both of these. Here's what I did. I built rules. Rules for self-custody solutions, rules for buying, rules for selling, rules that help me stay sane through chaos. If you don't structure your portfolio with rules and have conviction of your selections, you're at risk. I shared some of the exact rules I use in this video, the real rules of crypto. It's not my entire playbook, but it'll help you as a starter. And if you want to avoid the most common traps I see wreck people over and over, 7 crypto portfolio mistakes costing you thousands, that video, that breaks down the patterns that wreck portfolios before they ever get a chance to grow. Check them both out if you want to stress test your ideas. So once I had my self-custody handled and my risk management rules in place, I wasn't just trying to protect my stash anymore, I was ready to grow it. So I had my Bitcoin strategic reserve and my digital asset stockpile structure and protection frameworks. I still had a question to answer. What can I invest in for exponential upside without compromising my sovereignty? What gets me the growth I want and still aligns with my values? Most people just chase what's pumping. They see green candles, they FOMO in, and they get wrecked. Others fall for narratives that sound futuristic, but they're getting conned. I didn't want to chase hype, I wanted to position with purpose, a way to grow wealth intentionally by backing the most important technologies of the future. That's why I focus on exponential trends. These aren't linear changes. They accelerate, compound, and then disrupt everything they touch. They scale fast and they rewrite rules, and they always catch people off guard. We are living through several exponential trends right now, and crypto gives us access to own parts of their new infrastructure early. These are the trends I'm watching and investing around. AI and autonomous agents. So software that thinks, acts, and earns. Decentralized AI infrastructure, compute bandwidth and storage built outside big tech. Decentralized physical infrastructure networks. Tokenized networks of real-world hardware. And decentralized finance, a parallel financial system outside banks. Bitcoin and digital hard money to resist monetary debasement. And open protocol economies, giving users a stake in the platforms they use. So you can see I'm not just holding crypto tokens, I'm positioning into networks, ones that could power the next economy. Do you get it yet? It's not just any network that makes the cut. Each one has to pass my sovereignty test. Truly decentralized and or a serious plan to get there. Disruptive to rent-seeking incumbents. Economically useful in a world run by exponential tech or AI. And self-custody. If AI is the brain, crypto's like the nervous system and the money layer, and I want to own a part of that system. And with crypto, we can. I broke this down in another video. This is the internet AI will use. Definitely cue that up if this interests you. The takeaway here is this. If you're building a sovereign stash, don't just grow it chasing hype. Grow it by owning the infrastructure the next economy will run on. Position into networks that will power the future. Choose assets with real-world utility in the new era. For me, that means constantly researching the rails AI and crypto will move on. Then selecting high conviction investments, only buying them when they're super cheap and tracking them like a hawk. Now, I couldn't just build a forward-looking portfolio. I had to build a forward-looking life. I didn't just want financial upside. What I really wanted was a different life. I wanted to wake up in a world of my own design, a sovereign life, because that's my end game. Let's be real, most of us aren't dreaming of yachts in our futures. We just want out of jobs we hate, out of systems that feel rigged, out of the trap where your time is owned by someone else. I didn't have some amazing job I was sad to leave. I hated it. Product management isn't sexy, I can tell you. The meetings, the politics, it was corporate gaslighting all day, every day, and it drained the life out of me. At first, I told myself I'd quit once I'd saved more. But the truth is, there's no such thing as enough when you're stuck in a system designed to keep you dependent. So I started thinking differently. What I really wanted wasn't millions. It was self-agency, the ability to wake up and decide what to do with my own day. So I made a plan. I built my stash, and when the time came, I walked. Not because I was 100% ready, but because the whole point of the sovereign stash wasn't to get rich, it was to buy freedom. Now I work for myself. So now I've got new challenges, but they're my challenges, not my boss's. And you have no idea how much I prefer my own problems to solve. I get to choose my pace, my projects, my path. And that's the point of all this. That's what the Sovereign Stash gave me. Not just the courage to leave, but the space to rebuild life on my terms. Now I literally own my day. Some days I'm deep in crypto analysis. Other days I'm walking the nature reserve near me and then coming home to film videos like this. Do I still have problems? Absolutely. But they're my problems, not my boss's. That's the difference. And I wouldn't trade it for anything. So those were my 5 key decisions. Now I look back, they're kind of a roadmap. My Sovereign Stash roadmap. It helped me escape the corporate grind and reclaim my time. So crypto isn't just price charts anymore to me. It's become my freedom strategy, a sovereignty strategy. You don't need millions. You don't need to catch the next 100x. You just need a strategy that can buy back your time. If this gave you something to think about or reminded you what's possible, please share this video with someone else who might need it. I'm not your typical crypto bro. I'm here for freedom though, because life is too short to stay stuck. And if you want help getting started, don't forget to grab my free 5-day email course, Crypto Survival 101. The link's in the description. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. These are just my own personal insights. Always do your own research. I really believe it's important to own your strategy, own your money, own your future. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to hear more. And I'll see you in the next one.